live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around health, nutrition, lifestyle, real estate, credit, finance, so much more. Over 80 show categories now with the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we all want to educate, entertain, enlighten, but most importantly, we want to engage you in an effort to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, pull out your smartphone, save our Consumer Advocate Hotline number in your phone. It's 813-670-7372. That's our hotline. You can call or text that line at any time, 813-670-7372. And my promise is that we're going to get back to you before our head hits the pillow. We're going to make sure we help you with no matter what type of advice you're looking for out there. 7 or 8 different types of attorneys associated with this show. The ConsumerQB.com is our website, ConsumerQB.com. A plethora of information available for you at our website, as well as all of our expert contributors, show cards and information there as well. And giving a big shout out to Brio Tuscan Grill at the International Plaza in Tampa, right there at the mall, and it's on West Shore Boulevard. Brio Tuscan Grill, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. At Brio Tuscan Grill in the International Plaza Mall, you will discover Italian menu, drinks in our cozy atmosphere, bringing the pleasures of Tuscan Country Villa to Tampa. And so we invite you to come check out our restaurant partner over at the International Plaza. Say hello to Leah and the management team. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you, and they are going to hook you up with that free water with lemon that we often talk about here on the show. And expert contributors in studio here, and let's go around the horn now, make our introductions. Back in studio, Steve Gunnin. He's the managing partner for Replenish IV Solutions. Welcome back in, sir.
How you doing, Brandon? How's it going today?
Excellent. Yes, things are great.
Perfect. Talk a little bit about vitamins. Of course, the IV kind, injectable kind, that's what we do. So talk about the benefits of that.
Yeah, I love it. I love some of the stories, everything from hangovers to the day after to, helping cancer patients. So
Absolutely.
really strong content to come from Steve Gunnin. Also back in studio, Kathy Finnegan. She's owner and coach of Accountable Actions. Welcome back in, Kathy.
Thank you, Brandon. Glad to be back.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be talking about building and maintaining healthy relationships in the business world as well as your personal world.
I love it. Relationships are at the center of everything. You think about it, how important are relationships, and what's the first thing you want to do when you have a great experience in life or a bad experience? You want to share it with somebody. So we'll talk about the relationships as well. So that's great. Glad to have you back here, Kathy. Also, Gary Hallock in the house. He's the territory owner of WeInsure. He's an insurance expert. Welcome back.
Thank you, Brandon. Glad to be back again. Today, we're going to talk about making sure you get all the discounts that you're entitled to.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an important landscape. Make sure you get that review. We're going to talk about some consumer tips, things to do, things to avoid as well. And we got a public service announcement here. We posted this on our Facebook page yesterday, and I just thought about saying it on air today as well, is that if you know of any families that are struggling during the summertime, sometimes the kids are out of school, they're not getting as many meals, there may be malnourishment going on out there, and our random act of kindness, something as simple as maybe posting this to your Facebook page, is if you text the word food to 877-877 and text the word food to that number, 877-877, and what's going to happen, it's an autoresponder. It's going to say, okay, what zip code are you in? Once you enter your zip code, it's going to say, okay, here's the church or the school where you can go and get free meals during the summer. So this is important for some of those less fortunate out there. 877-877. So go ahead and do that. And if you forgot about it, check our Facebook page. Brandon Rhymes is my personal page, and you can also check the Consumer Quarterback Show Facebook page as well. And shoot us an email at consumerqb.com as well, and we'll give you some more information. So coming up in the show, Cancer Survivor aims to give back to communities through a new mobile app And also, want to let you know about a hot listing we have. As you know, I'm the owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. Got an open house going on this Saturday, 11 to 2 at 5208 East Longboat Boulevard in Tampa. $855,000. Beautiful property here. Over 4,100 square feet heated. And it's with bay access. You got a Mediterranean waterfront, magnificent home here in that Longboat area, kind of Bayport area of Tampa. 5208 East Longboat Boulevard in Tampa, and also 380 Bridle Pathway in Tarpon Springs, kind of that beautiful Palm Harbor area, Tarpon Springs, Pinellas County. 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, $299,000, just listed a day or two ago. Beautiful pool home, well-maintained, Keystone Bluffs area. So 2 hot listings from the Consumer Quarterback Show and Platinum MVP Realty here. And let's go ahead and jump into this great content. Steve Gunnin back in studio. We're real excited to talk about Replenish IV Solutions. And so everything from like we talked about, kind of the hangovers, all the way helping to cancer survivors and people that are pulling through some of these difficult times.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, we do everybody from the person who's just coming in feeling a little run down from a long weekend to the person that is having some chronic condition, has some issues going on that it's not like we're offering a magic bullet, but what we do is help build up their immune system with the intravenous vitamins and minerals. And it gives them, makes them feel better. And if you feel better, then whatever you're going through, it helps you deal with it a whole lot better and helps repair your body. So,
right.
It's you talk about the cancer survivor. That's one where, we have a few people that are going through cancer, have just come out of their chemo, and they want an alternative method that helps them better, that's not as hard on their body, because cancer treatment is as hard on the body as cancer itself.
Yeah.
And, we use all natural vitamins, vitamin C, high doses of vitamin C for cancer patients. And it's shown, there's proven fact. Everybody always wants to compare it to witch oil, or snake oil, but it's not. There's proven fact that it does help, and the higher doses you can achieve by taking it in orally.
Right, and that's another major point is when you go in and see Steve Gunnin over here at Replenish IV Solutions, downtown Tampa area, right there, channel side. You're getting an injection that's going to go right in through the IV with some very small needles, and it's going to go right into the bloodstream. Yeah,
and the vitamins we use are all natural. We don't like preservative vitamins. We don't like synthetic stuff. Synthetic things that you put in your body can react with different people differently. So there's no telling some of the ways they interact. So we like all natural vitamins. The vitamins that you get at the store, it's they could be the best vitamins ever. They could be not, but you don't know. So ours come directly from our Age Vital manufacturer down in Sarasota. You're with Dr. Jenny.
That's right.
And she's we've had a great relationship with her, and we don't have to question the quality of the vitamins.
Yeah, and that's the thing when it comes to the FDA, right? The Food and Drug Administration, they don't have specifics on measurement. They don't come out and say, why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the vitamins, they're USP certified, everything like that. FDA, the FDA really wants to put its stamp on stuff so it can kind of give that overall approval. But with vitamins and everything like that, no oral vitamins or anything like that have that. And the reason is because they have to manufacture with intolerances. Now, we've seen everybody come out that they've had stuff that basically was very little vitamin at all. And after a while, they get found out. Our vitamins are all strict manufacturing process. Again, you've had Dr. Jenny. You know how detail-oriented she is. And we don't take anything that's not certified. We don't take anything that's not 100% all natural, because if I go to put it in your body, I want to make sure that I'm comfortable with it, because of course the goal is for it to help you. It is our business. We do earn a living from it, but if it's not going to help you and it's not beneficial, us putting it in your body is not going to be where we want to be at, because of course the liability comes back to us, and we don't want that. It's to benefit you, not to hurt you. So we really we think that our delivery system is much better than the oral stuff, for the reasons being is you could have a digestive issue. You could be somebody who drinks a lot. You could be somebody who eats poorly, has Crohn's or colitis, which is an absorption issue in the intestines, and you're not taking in that no matter what you take in.
Right.
And if you don't bypass the gut and go directly into the vein, you're not getting the supplementation you need.
Good point. Yeah, you look at some of these diets out there, some of these fad type diets, and there's good, better, and best, just like anything. One of them that I've been somewhat familiar with is the Master Cleanse, and it talks about the importance of doing a cleanse every so often, kind of cleaning the pipe, so to speak, without getting too descriptive for our listening audience, maybe our viewers of our show. But that's important when you look at skin. That is the number one, the largest organ we have. The second largest organ is the digestive tract and the intestine. Mm-hmm. So maybe speak to that point a little bit, Steve.
I guess the skin is the first thing that everybody judges you on because it's the first thing they see. So as the ladies in the room and the metrosexual men who want to take care of themselves, they you always want that cell turnover. My wife's real big about talking about it. You get the cell turnover by using the antioxidants, by using the vitamin C, by using the glutathiones and the alpha lipoic acid. That actually helps. So if somebody wants to go get, for example, like a facial or any facial work done or cosmetic stuff done, if you do that in conjunction with the vitamin IV, you're going to get much better results. And the reason being is the stuff on the outside is the dead skin. Mm-hmm. The stuff on the inside that's being regenerated and being built, that's the stuff that is affected by the hydration and affected by the vitamins.
Right.
So if you get that good vitamin and cellular at the cellular level, get the good hydration at the cellular level, then your results are going to be better than somebody who just goes and, I want to get a chemical peel and move on. Because you're not going to get the same results. And you'll see vitamin IVs used in conjunction with people who have surgeries too, because number one, it helps get all the chemicals and stuff that you go through, the pushed out of your body a little quicker, flushed out of your body. And the vitamins, again, help boost up your immune system, make you feel better.
That's right.
And you don't have to have, any absorption issues. It goes directly into whether you get like a B12 shot or a super B shot, which comes in the injection, or if you go and get the vitamin IV, which has the vitamins, minerals, electrolytes, even amino acids, along with the fluid. And just getting the fluid it makes you feel better.
Yeah, that's right. And what else do you have in this world if you don't have your health? And the answer is not much. You have nothing out there. So Healthy Gourmet as well. We want to give a shout out to Felicia Lacaille during this health segment. Healthy Gourmet, organic veggies, all natural proteins delivered fresh 3 times a week. Felicia Lacaille is a chef. She's awesome. Owner of Healthy Gourmet. Optimal fuel, optimal performance. Meal plan starting at $90 a week. So for $90, you get about 10 meals delivered to your home or office Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I love it when I come home or I go to the office. Awesome food. Excellent.
And I don't know. She just announced that she's opening up a restaurant down at Armature Works. She's
nice.
Opening up a brand new Cuban cuisine restaurant. Good for her. She's a really good person.
Very cool. Yes. So more from our expert contributors here. Coming up, we're going to hear from Kathy Finnegan, owner and coach of Accountable Actions, as well as Gary Hallock, territory owner of WeInsure. And a great feel-good story here. Cancer survivor aims to give back to communities through a new mobile app. Giving a big shout-out to the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties. 24-hour, 100% satisfaction guaranteed by the Maids Cleaning Service. They are referred for a reason. We'll see you next time.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you've been listening to the phenomenal Brandon Rhymes, the Consumer Quarterback Show.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate program, helping you win in any marketplace. And we want to hear from you at our hotline at 813-670-7372. Give us a call, Tampa number 813-670-7372. You can call or text that line with any questions, comments, concerns you may have from the show. Coming up as well, we got the top 5 global markets for pharmaceuticals. And also want to give a big shout out to Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora in beautiful St. Pete Beach. It's the first new hotel built on St. Pete Beach in decades. Spanish ancestry meets cool Mediterranean attitude. It's a whitewashed Mediterranean palace, expansive luxury suites with balconies overlooking the Intercoastal Waterway, rooftop yoga on the weekends, a great restaurant on site as well. The Castile restaurant is awesome. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, come out and check them out. Also, beautiful pool area where you can pull your boat up and hang out by the pool and the hot tub. It's a great time down there. And Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora in St. Pete Beach. Now, make sure if you book a room down there, let them know the real estate quarterback sent you, and you're going to get 15 to 20% off of your room stay just by mentioning the REQB code. And great time to go visit down there this summer and enjoy a beautiful staycation with the best hotel in Tampa Bay. All right, in studio today, Steve Gunnin, managing partner for Replenish IV Solutions. We've got Kathy Finnegan, owner and coach of Accountable Actions, and Gary Hallock, territory owner of WeInsure. He's an insurance expert. All right, let's go ahead and talk to Kathy now. So Kathy Finnegan, back in studio. So Accountable Actions, and I love the idea of talking about healthy relationships.
Thank you, Brandon. So I love when I'm going through a coaching session with a client, seeing their eyes light up, that smile, and they have that aha moment. And that's when it begins, where they're on their journey to improving and reaching their goals. I recently had a client. She was struggling because she was promoted to the branch manager at a different bank. And she didn't feel very welcomed at this new bank because one of the employees was running for that position and didn't get it. So she felt like they were against her. Oh. And as we were going through the coaching session, her attitude was, well, I'll just tell them if they don't like it, they can leave, because she didn't like the way she was being treated.
Right.
And as I was asking her some questions and getting her to look at herself rather than look at them,
right,
she uncovered that she could change her whole way of thinking. And as she did that, she had that epiphany where she's not going to earn their respect and win them over by going in and giving them that dictatorship type mentality.
Right.
So she went in with a positive attitude and actually earned their respect and had a beautiful meeting and came and thanked me afterward. And, you know, typically with relationships, the main thing is that we need to have our God goggles on.
Yeah.
We need to be paying attention to ourselves in relationships.
Yeah, you think about it as, I think it was Stephen Covey or one of the greats that talked about when your mirrors turn into windows, you know. So it's kind of that paradigm. You get what you give and you attract what you have. So
exactly.
Yeah, that's a great story.
Exactly. And if we're in our ego, then we're in our fear and our pride. And, you know, we're focusing on the other person, we're blaming. But if we are God-centered, then we're listening better, we're more understanding, we're more patient, and it changes everything. And if we're truly, genuinely caring about our customer, like if we're a sales rep or if we're a boss looking out for our employees, we have to be God-centered. We have to take good care of ourselves first. We have to have that within us to be able to give that back.
I like that. So what are some of the common practices or ways that you can incorporate that into your life?
Thank you. That's a good question. Personally, in the morning, I do morning musts where I read spiritual readings to align myself with God, and I pray, and I ask God to take my will for the day, because, you know, we're given free will and we're running around, we're busy, and if we're in our own thinking, we're not really paying attention to how would God want us to act in this situation.
Right.
So it's a matter of meditating and taking that time. Exercise, nutrition, they all play a role. It's all these ways that we can take care of ourselves,
right,
help us to take better care of other people.
Yeah, I like that. So kind of one of my favorites as well is Darren Hardy. He talks about the bookends of the day. So kind of like you think about bookshelf and you got two bookends that are going to hold those shelves up. So it's very similar to the way our lives operate. So that and during the middle of the day, a lot of chaos is going to happen, right? Our text, our phones, our tweets, all these things happening, Facebook, instant notifications, and then but what can you control is the bookends of the day. So that beginning morning ritual, and then what about an evening ritual? Is that something you partake in as well?
Definitely a reflection on ourselves for the day. We have to really sit quietly with God and think about how did we treat people? Where do we need to improve? Do I owe somebody an apology? And pay attention, to our behavior and reflect on it.
Yeah.
And then take the action to make things right if we've made a mistake.
That's a big one. Take action. Whenever you see some type of an action item or something where you have made a mistake, or potentially, and I see this a lot with goal setting, people will have a goal and they'll say, oh, it would be nice, or I wish, or I hope I could do something like that. But in the subconscious mind, what happens is that hope or that wish thought turns up into I can't, or I won't, or it's a wish that it remains as that.
It's even worse when people don't reflect back on that goal and take accountability of ownership of that goal. Did they do the things that they needed to do to achieve those goals?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So if you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Kathy Finnegan, owner and coach of Accountable Actions, and that's Gary Hallock as well, weighing in there, territory owner of WeInsure. He's an insurance expert here in Tampa. So, Kathy, I love this topic, these conversations, and the way that you work with clients. So, let's talk about maybe what's your ideal client? What kind of folks are you looking to work with?
Lately I've been working with a lot of women. I've had some women coming to me with some marital issues or issues with their children. And it's about relationships. And it always comes back to learning how to look at ourselves and improve ourselves. It's all about personal development.
That's right.
So I love working with anybody. It could be a boss of a company that wants to have a better relationship with his team, managers, sales reps that are not motivated. But I really enjoy working with people on a personal level with their personal lives, how to improve in relationships or just feeling better, more self-esteem, people who want to improve their self-esteem and self-worth. And, another girl that recently came to me is having struggles in her relationship. And, it turns out she's really putting up with some things that are unacceptable. And after the session, she realized she's too good for him and she needs to move on if he's not going to change. So, you have to, when we're stronger, we choose the right people to surround ourselves around.
That's right.
Which is key too. We would not be surrounding ourselves around people if our self-esteem is at its highest. And
sometimes people settle for what is kind of status quo. They'll settle and they'll stick with that relationship and kind of think, oh, it's not that bad, but it's totally the wrong mindset to have.
Exactly.
Yeah, when you look at relationships, business relationships, I love that example you gave as well. So, she's going into that bank. These folks had some type of an attachment to the other person that didn't get the job, but she was able to turn it around through some of the success strategies that you shared with her.
Yes.
Yeah, I love those. I love those success stories. So, Kathy Finnegan here, owner and coach of Accountable Actions on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and Kathy, when you look at this area of personal development, you have the greats like the Jim Rohns and some of those folks that have kind of set the pace. And I love on a local level here, you're picking it up, you're helping people, you're working with business owners, you're working with could even be stay-at-home moms or different folks that are in those situations where they're looking for some type of guidance. So what are some of the other common threads that you see out there or areas that you can help people with?
Motivation for people who are stuck in their position. They know they need to get out there and work. They need an action plan. They need a schedule and a routine.
That's right.
Realtors, sales reps, different people that are struggling and just getting up and going and taking the action.
That's a good one right there. People that are in sales, because you're dealing with so many no's. A lot of times, you're making those calls, you're making those sales calls, and it gets repetitive, and then you get the no's, and then on the other side of no is a yes. So that's the thing to keep in mind when you look at personal development and sales training. It's pushing forward, pushing through that, and having that positivity, and reflecting as well on what's working, Pareto's principle comes to mind, the 80-20 rule, focusing on the 20% that's going to generate 80% of your success. So when we come back, we're going to talk about the top 5 best global markets for pharmaceuticals, and also Cancer Survivor aims to give back to communities through a new mobile app. This and more from our expert contributors here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. ConsumerQB.com. Submit the form at ConsumerQB.com. We would love to hear from you. Any questions, comments, concerns, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes, Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. Featured in Florida Realtor Magazine, Top Agent Magazine, Tampa Bay Business Journal, and others, recognized for innovation with marketing. 701 East Crenshaw Street in Tampa. This is a hot listing we have. Compliments of Platinum MVP Realty. $259,000 just reduced. 2,400 square foot home with a pool. And awesome location here. 701 East Crenshaw Street in Tampa. A great buying opportunity, as well as a beautiful Pinellas County property here. Seminole, Florida. 7657 132nd Way in Pinellas County. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath property, fabulous 4-3, family-style pool home with no HOA or CDD, and it's a 2-story property, $399,000 just reduced. So we'd love to hear from you on our website, ConsumerQB.com, or if you have any questions, comments, concerns about the show, give us a call, 813-670-7372. Call or text that line, and you might want to save it in your phone for future use, 813-670-7372. And we're back here in studio helping you win in any marketplace. Coming up in the show, Cancer Survivor aims to give back to communities through a new mobile app, as well as top 5 best global markets for pharmaceuticals. And let's go ahead right now, and we're going to talk with Gary Hallock. He's the territory owner of WeInsure. He's an insurance expert here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And Gary, what are you seeing out there, man?
You know, there's a lot of changes in the insurance. We're seeing, I met with a carrier last week, and one of the examples, client came home, water was leaking, called the agent, and how much damage do you think there's going to be? And the client's like, I'm not really sure. Well, I've got someone that come out, take a look at it. If it's over your deductible, which is $2,500, you could just pay it out of pocket. You don't necessarily have to open a claim. The individual went out there, did the dry out, cleaned it all up. It was $1,500. And the dry out company said, well, it's $1,500 or I can bill your insurance company. And the client's like, well, you can bill my insurance company. Awesome. So the client signed an assignment of benefits. The dry out company sent a bill to the insurance company for $15,000. So
Wow.
It was 10 times more. And the problem that happens is you lose your claim. You lose the ability to negotiate. You lose the ability to really do the right thing. And so my clients call me and they're like, why are our rates going up? Well, because people are filing these fraudulent claims. And so I think, when you do have a claim, definitely talk to your agent, but more importantly, talk to your insurance carrier. They're the ones that are going to assist you. They're going to send out preferred dry out companies that are not going to gouge them, and they're going to make sure that you're taken care. And what's even better is the carrier will then back the company that they send out work. So if it's not done correctly,
Right.
the insurance company will make sure it's done correctly.
So it's kind of their preferred provider.
Correct.
So how does that scenario play out with what you just said? It was estimated to be $1,500, but then they turn around and just gouge and charge $15,000.
Correct. And again, it plays out multiple ways. Typically, that the dry out company will bring an attorney in, so now it goes to $25,000.
Wow.
The carrier's going to fight it. And unfortunately, what can happen is you signed off on the claim. The carrier pays, let's say they do pay $10,000. Well, now it's a $25,000 claim. They can come back after the homeowner for that $15,000 because you lost the right to that claim.
Wow. Yeah.
So it just turns into a bad situation all the way around.
Unintended consequences.
Very true.
Wow. Yeah. You look at that. And then you have, those situations. So what can the listeners do about it? Why should they care?
I think they should care for two reasons. The first reason is obviously doing the right thing, taking personal ownership. The insurance is there to cover your losses, and you should file a claim in the event of a claim.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly is you should make sure that your insurance carrier is not gouged, because if you're paying $1,500 a year for a premium on your policy and now you have a $15,000 claim, how do you think the carrier is going to make that money up?
Right.
They're going to raise rates. And we're
Right.
seeing in the homeowners market currently, rates are moving upwards again, where they've been falling over the last few years.
And is that similar scenario to where with the auto industry, you saw a couple years back, they changed the rule to the 14-day rule.
Right.
So you had in that saying, hey, if you're past 14 days, it's too late. You can't claim that your back hurts, your neck hurts. You go into the chiropractor or medical doctor. Is that kind of a similar scenario? What played out?
Yeah, and again, auto carriers are losing. I think I had one carrier come in; they're losing $1.20 for every dollar they collect in premium. So obviously, rates are going to move upwards also. And funny story: I'm driving to the show this afternoon, and I look over. Not only was the driver on their phone staring out the windows, but the passenger, both of them are probably texting each other.
Yeah, it happens, man.
But again, it is trying to stop the fraudulent claims. People have a small accident, there's a police report filed, and these people will chase them, trying to get them in, and it just limited how long they could go back and go after the insurance company, trying to help mitigate some of that risk.
Insurance expert Gary Hallock, and he's a territory owner of WeInsure insurance group here in the Tampa Bay market, on the show here. So we're talking about consumer tips, things to do, things to avoid. And one of those things that we talk about consistently is being proactive. And then also when it comes to an insurance policy, getting into the details, as they say, the devil's in the detail. What do you recommend in that case?
I think you definitely need to have a second opinion. I represent almost 50 homeowner carriers in the state of Florida. And one of the things that I see is, I get clients referred to me from mortgage brokers or real estate professionals like yourself, and I'm looking at their old policy, and no one took the time to explain about wind mitigation credits, which help affect the hurricane portion of the premium, or they'll get a new roof, and the person that put the roof on doesn't do a wind mitigation, and there are substantial discounts, 15-20% just for a new roof on the hurricane portion of your premium.
That's right. We talked with Suncoast Roofing. Mary Cernicki's been on the show. Chuck Peterson with Suncoast Roofing. We've talked about some of the details with that, and they have different things that they're going to do to help with that as well.
Correct. And ask about discounts. If you don't ask, there's a lot of different discounts. You could be living in a single entry community. You could have a gate guard or a gated community or a security guard on the community. Discounts. Some companies offer a credit discount or financial responsibility discounts. So there, if you have your home monitored with an alarm company, and I know that one of the companies in there was talking about it. There's, you could save a couple $100s a year. Usually doesn't pay for the cost of being monitored, but it helps, and it helps offset that cost.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I know it's not one of your favorite topics, but we might as well touch on it as flood. Flood insurance.
Especially with hurricane season coming up.
Yeah.
Flood has been changing over the last couple of years. Obviously, every time you have a legislator do something, it affects all of us. The good news is we have a lot of new private flood markets coming out. So there is no waiting period on private flood. And where it becomes really popular is in a second residence. On the National Flood Insurance Program, there's actually a $250 surcharge if it's a secondary resident, if you don't live there 51% of the time. Private flood doesn't impose those surcharges. So, again, for secondary residents, flood through the private market could make a lot of sense for you.
Yeah, flood insurance through the private marketplace. So what we're talking about is that National Flood Insurance Program is still there. Right. And then I think in past shows you've talked about as well as you got to be careful if you do make that decision, because once you opt out, you can't easily get back in.
Well, there's a policy called grandfathering. So these policies are grandfathered in under the older rates. They are going up to current rates. But if you step out of a grandfathered policy, you cannot get back into a grandfathered policy.
Interesting. So what is a grandfathered policy, Gary?
They usually call it pre-firm. It depends on your location. When the flood program came out and they started mapping your area, so it's just pre-mapping, or they call it pre-firma. So you don't. There was no elevation done at the time, and then to get back on it. So let's say you were in a grandfathered policy, you leave. Now you have to do an elevation certificate. Now you're subject to the full rate of whatever the National Flood Insurance Program rates are.
Yeah.
So it could be it could cost you a lot of money in the long term.
Yeah, the firm is the acronym is Flood Insurance Rate Map, correct?
Yep.
The Flood Insurance Rate Map. So that's what he's referring to here. Gary Hallock, territory owner, WeInsure. And more from Gary in our next segment, as well as we're going to talk about a cancer survivor aims to give back to communities through a new mobile app in our Feel Good Story of the Week. And we're also going to test our expert contributors here on the top 5 best global markets for pharmaceuticals. We're going to have them guess that and more of our information. And, of course, our lightning round, where we're going to go around and give the top tips, things to do, things to avoid here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Big shout out to the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties. 24-hour, 100% satisfaction guaranteed by the Maids Cleaning Service. They are referred for a reason. Stay with us.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Quarterback Show, Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate program. We want you to think about this show as the hub of your finance, your business, your health, and your legal will. Each spoke extending out, representing another one of our preferred partners. Over 80 show partners now with the Consumer Quarterback Show, expert contributors that we bring on the show to educate, entertain, enlighten, but most importantly, we want to engage you in an effort to help you win. So save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. It's 813-670-7372. 670-7372. Give us a call, shoot a text, any questions you may have. And in studio today, we've got Steve Gunnin. He's the managing partner for Replenish IV Solutions. Also, Kathy Finnegan, owner and coach of Accountable Actions. Gary Hallock is our insurance expert as well, territory owner of WeInsure. And before the break, we talked about this feel-good story. We always like to tell you something good here.
Tell me something good.
So a cancer survivor aims to give back to communities through a new mobile app. Here's a story from Bay News 9. A Bradenton-born man who survived cancer, thanks in part to a community generosity, wants to spend the rest of his life giving back to communities through a mobile app. He hopes that will continue to help others. Brights shares stories from users within 10-mile radius. The creator was diagnosed with leukemia in 2011. Experienced inspired creation of app, and Cameron Floto is one of the creative minds behind Bright, a mobile application that aims at giving in a big city and a small town feel. A lot of people don't like meeting new people. It's a lot easier for us to talk online, so why not make that initial encounter from there, says Floto. And it's interesting, as the summarization of the article reads, is that it's similar to Facebook, and it helps you connect with people that are going through similar issues within a 10-mile radius. And he's saying that it's a lot easier to do it online or make that initial contact online. They organized a concert that over 2 days raised $2,000 to pay for my medical bills, says Floto. Think about that. These are people that are mostly probably they didn't know me, but knew somebody in their community needed help. So later on, it talks about how Floto and his team have begun crowdfunding campaign to get Bright off the ground. To learn more about the app or campaign, you can check out consumerqb.com. We'll post some comments there about that. But Steve, you're dealing with a lot of people that are going through this cancer. So interesting story there. You know, when you have a cancer survivor that's creating an app to help people on a local level, it's pretty interesting.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, it's, you never want to put yourself inside somebody else's shoes who's dealing with it, but we see a bunch of people that have had cancer or dealing with cancer. Thank God somebody get to the R word, remission. So
right,
it's just something that, from our point of view, if we can help boost up their mental spirits as much as their physical spirits, then we feel like we've done something good. And I love hearing stories like that. I mean, we love to see our people that have been dealing with it come back, and it's like I said, it's a hard thing to deal with. Hope to God anybody I know never has to deal with it, but hopefully somebody's there like that's providing something that benefits people that are.
I think more and more people are able to utilize some of these newer technologies, something like Replenish IV Solutions, in an overall comprehensive approach. And Kathy, he mentioned the mental side of it and the spiritual side of it. So much of it is important with that as well when you look at beating cancer, or even, relationships like you were talking about earlier.
Yes, positivity definitely is powerful.
That's right. Yeah, the power of positivity, the attitude of gratitude. When you put that out there, that energy out there, it's going to naturally attract back. Having that love in your life as well. Making sure you give love.
Yes, and we have healthier immune systems from being positive and our attitude being strong.
That's right. Yeah, there's even been studies I've talked about with actually, I think Chet Holmes wrote about in his book, The Ultimate Sales Machine, that if you eat food while you're in a negative state, you're actually poisoning the food that you're putting into your body. Some of the studies will take it to that level.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look at that.
Yes, I can see where, it's just like emotional eating, because we're eating to feel better. It's not healthy.
Right, binge eating. They talk about the old Haagen-Dazs ice cream after
chicken wings.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so let's just go to our top 5 here. So we got the top 5 best global markets for pharmaceuticals. So I guess this is overall sales, best 5. Let's go, Steve here.
Best 5. I mean, sales or
Yeah, what Anthony? You know what that is? Is top 5
Cities?
sales? Yeah, just sales, I guess wise. So
I'd have to say the U.S. is definitely
number 1, absolutely, $228.7 billion of pharmaceutical sales. It is pretty sad, yeah, when you think about that. It is. It's 46% of shares of global sales. So we're here we are as a country, and I think a lot of people know it. Dr. Jenny talked about it. I'd like to kind of get a debrief from her, how her when she talked in front of Congress, how she talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you look at the pharmaceutical industry and the amount of legal drugs that are being pushed. There's the number right there, 228.7 billion a year, and it's almost half of the global sales on the big blue planet here, planet Earth. So number 2, see if who's number 2 here. Who can you guess?
Canada.
Canada is not in the top 5.
Oh, no.
Number 2 is Japan. Actually, $55.4 billion is Japan, which is kind of surprising. Germany's up there, $27.8 billion. 4 is France, $26.4 billion in pharmaceutical sales, global markets. And then United Kingdom, $18.4 billion is rounding out our top 5. So there you have it. There's the top 5 best global markets for pharmaceuticals in terms of sales on the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning round.
All right, lightning round here, Steve. So what we're doing is top tips, things to do, things to avoid, nuggets of advice. Steve Gunnin.
I think, we would love everybody in the world to do vitamin IVs and B12 injections and fat burners. But the thing you have to do is, and I've done it over there, we do HCG diet, which is, helped me. I think I've lost about 35 pounds.
Wow.
But a part of it is just clean eating. Right?
That's
if
right.
you're not going to eat clean, every diet in the world you can get on is going to be just a waste of money. And it's going to be not diet. It just doesn't,
right.
It's not going to be effective. It's not going to get the results you want unless you actually make the commitment to it and you actually eat clean, because without clean eating, all you're trying to do is Band-Aid everything anyways.
That's right.
So
the HCG diet, you're a proponent of that?
Yeah. HCG is basically, it's a hormone that's made during pregnancy. So it helps protect the fetus. It helps the mother, strengthen the womb and everything like that. But it also helps afterwards to help the mother start losing weight. Now, again, that's also subjective. If the mother's, going to sit and eat Haagen-Dazs and chicken wings like we talked earlier, then that's going to be, as effective as anything else you do. But what it does is help strengthen and protect your lean muscle mass when you're losing weight. And if you go through it, and I've done it because it literally, I think in beginning of, April, I started doing this. It's been about 11, 12 weeks now, something like that. And I've lost 35 pounds.
That's awesome.
But it's clean eating. If I wasn't doing that, I wouldn't get the results.
Good for you, man. That's awesome. Top tips, things to do, things to avoid. Kathy Finnegan.
If you really want to improve in your relationships, you have to keep God in the center of it. God has to steer your thinking, and you have to be willing to change. You must reflect on yourself and look within.
Yeah. Meditation, part of that. Prayer. Yeah.
Taking care of yourself.
Good stuff.
Developing spiritual growth.
That's right. I love that. Gary.
I was listening to the radio, I believe it was Monday night, and Paul from One Stop Cooling and Heating was talking about clients that need a new air conditioner and can't afford it because thousands of dollars. Homeowners policies are not designed to replace that, because that's a maintenance issue. But a lot of the carriers are adding endorsements, service plans right onto it, where a whole AC system needs to be replaced, costs them $500. They'll work with your local carriers or AC repairmen. Definitely call your agent, find out if your policy has the ability to have that endorsement added onto it. And again, over the long term, it's money saving for you.
Yeah, that's a good point. And there's other home warranty opportunities out there. Do you guys dabble into home warranties as well? Or?
We use it as a endorsement onto the policy. We don't sell direct home warranties, but most of the carriers use the exact same one through Hartford Steam Boiler is typically who it's endorsed through.
Okay.
But it's added right onto the carrier. It's usually considerably cheaper than getting a direct home warranty. Most home warranties cost $500, $600, $700 a year. These endorsements typically cost about $50 a year. So it's a huge cost savings in the event of an AC replacement. washer, or not washer, dishwasher, things that are built into your house that would be considered appliances, even up to plumbing, like the drain going out to the septic system or going out to the plumbing. If that gets destroyed, that's not part of the homeowner's policy. That would be an endorsement on to cover that.
Okay. All right, Steve, one more round here. Top tips, things to do, things to avoid, success stories, nuggets of advice.
If you're going to, again, we would always want you to come into us to do vitamins. It's great. We know it's not realistic sometimes. Check out what you're getting, and don't just go buy something because it's been referred to you or it seems like a good idea. Do your homework. I mean, because being a part of healthy is being informed, and if you're not informed, then you're just taking somebody else's advice on that. Do the homework for yourself. There's enough resources now where you can find good information and dig into it, because it's your health. You only get one shot at it.
That's right. What else do you have if you don't have your health? Kathy?
Don't look to blame others. Look at yourself again. I keep going back to that. And be willing to really listen to what people are saying in order to have healthy relationships. You have to hear what they're saying. People are just too quick to respond with an answer.
Yeah, that's right. Slow down, process the information, and listen not with the intent to reply, but to fully understand.
Absolutely.
Stephen Covey, I love that one. Gary?
Definitely if someone comes into your house to work on a claim, make sure it's a preferred vendor by the carrier. Call your agent. They'll have the list of preferred vendors. And then make sure you contact it and don't let the person handle your claim for you. Make sure you maintain ownership in that.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank all of our expert contributors. I want to thank our listeners and viewers of our TV show out there as well on WeBeam TV, and leaving you with a quote as well today. Confucius said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, those who think they can or they think they can't are both usually right. So make sure you control that focus, the power of focus we talk a lot about. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness, something as simple as packing up leftover food you may have, carrying it with you to and from your commute to work, handing it to that person that you see that is in need. Be a force for good in the community. Go out, donate some time, and donate your leftover clothing and things of that nature to some good places here in Tampa Bay. We can help you with that as well. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.